guys, the world is noisy and loud, and I want to share with you some tips to disconnect from the world and reconnect to yourself. I don't know about you, but it feels like the world is getting louder and noisier and busier, and I'm being pulled and pushed and yanked, and it's exhausting. And it's really, really hard to even know what it is that I truly believe and what's going on with me, my thoughts, my feelings, because I'm constantly plugged in and connected to all of this loud noise and commotion, and it can feel like chaos, right? So some tips that I have, they're quite simple and hopefully they're doable and manageable. And one of them is just to go outside in nature, go for a walk, 20 minutes, even 10 minutes if you can, just to be with yourself and to be alone with what's coming up for you. So that means you're not scrolling on your phone, you're not listening to a podcast, and music, I would even just leave that off as well. So that way you can be fully present with what's coming up for you, what is true for you. And you know, what things do you need to process still? And another idea that I have is to just disconnect from social media. I know this comes up a lot. I'm a big fan of disconnecting from social media because it's so loud and there's so many voices where, you know, we're scrolling. So you can imagine how many different voices and opinions and thoughts are we consuming within 1 minute, right? So if you disconnect from that, it's easier to reconnect to yourself and to your intuition, into your inner truth and what it is that you truly believe and what you think, instead of listening to what all these other people are thinking and believing, right? Another idea, which is related, is the news. Disconnecting from the news, taking breaks from the news. So, you know, I know a lot of people think like, well, if I don't watch the news, how am I going to know what's going on in the world? Believe me, you will know what's going on in the world. I don't really listen to the news or read the news, and I would say I have a good understanding of what's going on in the world. So yeah, like the biggest takeaway from this is just, even if it's 15 minutes a day, 10, 15 minutes, maybe it's in the morning, carving out some time to be with yourself. So you can connect to yourself. Maybe it's journaling, sipping on your tea, and just being with what's coming up and being present with that, because we don't give ourselves time for that. We don't carve out space for that. And if we don't carve out space for that, it is so hard to really know how we feel and what we think and what our inner voice is saying and our intuition, because our intuition is so much quieter than this world. And how can we even hear that voice and know what's right for us if, you know, we're constantly plugged in and hearing all these other voices? Okay, so I hope that is helpful, and I'll see you next week.